When you're working with a coach or working with someone who sees you as naturally creative, resourceful, relational, and whole, you're working with someone who is curious about you, someone who is listening to you, trying to help you to reach your goals, even if they're professional goals, looking at you as a whole person. They're someone who is helping you to experience transformation.
Welcome to Flourishing Flame, from burning out to burning bright with therapist and coach Leah Brown. Are you a people helper or caregiver, feeling overwhelmed, distant, cynical, and crispy around the edges? Join me to defeat burnout by learning how to manage stress and create deep, connective relationships with others so that you can pursue your calling, providing light and warmth to those around you.
Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the Flourishing Flame Podcast. I'm your host, Leah Brown. I live in Virginia, not too far from T.C. Williams High School, the school where the story from the movie, Remember the Titans, took place. It's one of the best football movies of all time. In the movie, Denzel Washington plays Coach Herman Boone, who in 1971 is called to coach a freshly integrated football team. Two schools have merged together, a predominantly African American school and a predominantly white school. And as they've come together, the football team also has to be integrated. He coached them in football, but more importantly, he coached them in life. He challenged their assumptions and made them look at themselves, their thought processes, and even their biases. They were able to grow as individuals and as a team in ways they didn't know were possible. They became better versions of themselves and a championship football team. In the last several episodes, we've been talking about the types of relationships that allow you to meet your goals. Studies show that only about 9% of people who make goals actually achieve them. We've looked at 5 different relationships. I want to review 2 and then move into the next 3. The first one we looked at was the friend, the peer support relationship. And then we looked at mentors last time. And now we're moving into the 3 relationships that are less reciprocal than the previous 2. And they're usually people you pay to help you. The one that we're going to talk about today is the coach. And then there's the consultant and the therapist. So when we talk about coaches in our society today, there's a greater understanding for athletic coaching than there is other types of coaching. And so when we're talking about coaching in this context, I'm talking about people who would be life coaches, executive coaches, maybe a health and wellness coach, a business development coach, leadership coach. There's all types of coaching. I even have a friend who's a menopause coaching specialist. These coaches come alongside you to help you to reach your goals. The perspective of this coach is primarily a present to future orientation, someone who's looking at where you are, helping you to get to where you want to be. In this relationship with a coach, the client holds the power. And this is compared to in a mentor relationship. It's more of a reciprocal relationship like we talked about before. But it's someone who knows more than you and are sharing that knowledge, are sharing those connections, are encouraging you in ways that you're taking similar steps. And then we have a consultant who is the expert and is telling you what you need to do to meet your goal. Counselors have specialized training to help you to understand how to move forward by addressing the things that happened in your past. I started understanding coaching and getting into coaching through Megan Gilmore, the creator of Lark Song Coaching, where they provide education and well-being, professional coach training, and culture care. Megan met my parents and shared with them what she was doing, and they shared the information with me. And I started talking to Megan to be able to understand what is coaching and how is that something that I could use in my work as a counselor and kind of as an additional service to offer. I knew when I met her that my primary therapy goals in helping others were to help people to heal from their trauma. And coaching seemed like a natural adjacent service to be able to work with people that are thinking present to future instead of just working with people who are dealing with really heavy things in their past. I've realized, though, that I use my coaching skills in all of my therapy appointments, too. And I use the coaching, especially with my intensive therapy retreats, as we're kind of making that transition from past to present to future in one retreat. So I wanted to share with you what are some of those strengths that are in coaching. Coaching is it's support that's focused on you and your goals. When you're working with a coach, you're working with someone who sees you as naturally creative, resourceful, relational, and whole. You're working with someone who is curious about you, someone who is listening to you, trying to help you to reach your goals, even if they're professional goals, looking at you as a whole person. They're someone who is helping you to experience transformation. In addition to the support, a coach is looking at you as the expert on yourself. They're offering an outside perspective to help you and to give you the support that you need as they're looking at these different elements of you, as they're being curious and listening and asking you questions to help you to gain a greater perspective on yourself to help you reach those goals. So as we look at these strengths of coaching, support, you're the expert on yourself, getting this outside perspective. The fourth one is that it's an unregulated industry, which means that there's lots of people that can come into this coaching industry. There is training and certifications, but there's not state agencies like with therapy and counseling services. And so it means that there's a lot of choices, whereas often with counseling and therapy, it can be difficult to find a therapist that takes your insurance, that's in state, that does the types of things that you are looking for. With coaching, you can have a coach that's in a different state, even in a different country, and be able to find the coach that's the best fit for you instead of having a narrow range of people and location that you can choose from. And so it's actually phenomenal to be able to find someone just based on what you need. When we look at what are some of the weaknesses of coaching, well, on the flip side, it's an unregulated industry. And so you need to do your homework in selecting a coach that meets your needs and that fits with your personality. If you're looking at how would I work with a coach, you can work with a coach as an individual, working on personal goals, whether it's something in your personal life, whether it's something in your professional life, and zeroing in on it and working on that. Or it could be part of a programmatic path where the coach offers a program that you can participate in as an individual and get that same individual attention and working through steps that they have put together that have helped with other people with this problem that you're looking to solve. You can also work with a coach as a group. It could be similar in a program, like I mentioned before, where there's multiple people in that same program that are taking that same path and you're part of that group. Or it can be a group that's based on a similarity. Maybe it's people that are in the same career field. I've been part of business owner groups before. I've been part of coaching groups for other coaches before. Any type of field you could think of, there's probably a coaching group for you. The group might be based on a stage of life. A coaching group for young moms, a coaching group for people who are taking care of elderly parents, a coaching group for busy parents who are trying to do the best for their kids, or a group of people who are moving into a stage of life where they're remaking their lives as their children are gone or they're changing careers, all sorts of stage of life coaching groups. Or it could be a coaching group that's based on goals. Maybe you have fitness or diet goals, and so you become part of a coaching group where everyone is working on those goals. Being part of group coaching could also be through an organization, which could be a group of people that all work together. It could be a family unit, even a volunteer group. It could be part of a sports team, you name it. Whatever the organization is, your organization could have coaching. What would that be for? Well, it could be to help the different people in the group, in the organization, to understand themselves better and understand other people in the group better. It could be helping a group to transition. That could be anything from having a merger of two different organizations. It could be transitioning from one way of operating to another way of operating. Group coaching in an organization could be to help the organization to grow, maybe to be more efficient, or maybe to have more unity. When you're looking at coaching, there's some rules and norms that kind of go along with coaching. One is that you're looking, as I mentioned before, with a present to future orientation. It's kind of like driving. When you're driving, you are aware of where you are and you are looking at where you're going to go. You have a destination in mind. You're looking at the road in front of you. You're looking at the signs as they are coming. But you have a car rear view mirror so that you can glance at it to see where you've been. That is a lot of how you operate with coaching, is that you're in the present, looking to the future, and you have glimpses of things from the past that are informing how you're operating today. Again, when you are in a coaching relationship, you are the expert. It's your coach's job to listen to you and to connect with you and help you as you're moving forward, listening to what your goals are and helping you to achieve them. In a coaching relationship, you're going to be challenged in your thinking and challenged in your approach. It may be verbally or maybe through an activity like equine assisted work, working with horses to help us to move forward and what's maybe causing a blockage on reaching our goals. Or it may be that you're using art, or it may be noting something in your life, like the percentage of time you devote to the areas of your life. Let's look at how to identify what you need to look for in yourself and in a coach to find the right fit. So, identifying what are your goals? What are the things that you want to accomplish? Being able to write them down so that as you're looking for a coach, you're looking for a coach that will help you reach the goals that you want to find, that you want to accomplish. And then, what type of support do you need? Some of us want a cheerleader that's like, yeah, you did it, and have that kind of encouraging perspective. Other people really want a kick in the pants type of accountability and someone who will challenge them on why they're not doing the things that they say that they want to do. Those are just different ways of being that support and offering that support. And so identifying for yourself, what is it that I really am looking for? And then you're going to want to interview anyone that you're looking to have as a coach and see how do they coach and have that conversation about what you would like in that coaching relationship. So another big question is cost. Usually with coaching, it is something that you pay for. You might find someone who charges $25 or $35 for a session. Usually that would be someone who's newer to coaching. And on the higher end, it could be $500 for a coaching hour. And that would be for someone who's more of an experienced executive coach. You should expect to pay at least around $100 per hour, depending upon your location. Many coaches will have a sliding scale to help accommodate people who need support and have income restrictions. So with all of this information on coaching, you may be in a season where you're saying, I really need some help to help me to move forward in the season of life. I need some additional help to be challenged and to grow. Challenged to grow in your assumptions, challenged to grow in your thought processes, challenged to grow even in your biases of how you're making the decisions that you're making. If you choose to work with a coach, it will help you to grow as an individual. And if you're doing this as a team, as a unit, and ways that you did not know were possible. If this has caused some questions for you and you want to know more about coaching, maybe you want to know more about being a coach. In the next episode, I'm going to interview my friend Megan Nielsen to talk about coaching, to talk about what to look for in a coach, to talk about what it's like to have coaching, what it's like to be a coach, and I know that you will enjoy hearing from her. And so, until next time, take care.
Thank you for joining me today. If this episode added kindling to your flame, please leave a review and pass it on to a friend who could use some encouragement. You can connect with me and find additional resources at leahlittlebrown.com. Now go forth and burn in all your brilliance.